He claimed to be a government geologist who survived a secret war against aliens miles beneath the New Mexico desert. He had the scars to prove it. He spent the last year of his life on a frantic crusade, trying to expose a terrifying shadow government. 7 months after that lecture, he was found dead in his apartment. The official story was suicide. But his friends, his family, and a mountain of suspicious evidence tell a different story. A story of murder. Did Phil Schneider take his own life? Or was he silenced for revealing a truth so terrifying the world was never meant to hear it? Phil Schneider wasn't your typical UFO enthusiast. He presented himself as a credible insider, a structural engineer who, for 17 years, worked on top-secret government contracts building deep underground military bases, or DUMBs. He claimed his own father, a German U-boat captain named Otto Schneider, was repatriated into U.S. intelligence and worked on the infamous Philadelphia experiment. Phil painted a picture of a life lived deep inside the military-industrial complex's darkest secrets. For years, he stayed silent. But in 1995, facing a terminal cancer diagnosis, Schneider decided he had nothing left to lose. He burst onto the lecture circuit with a story that would either make him a legendary whistleblower or a delusional madman. A story of what happened in 1979, 2 miles beneath the sands of Dulce, New Mexico. He claimed he was part of a crew expanding a secret underground base when they accidentally drilled into something that was already there, an ancient active base occupied by hostile gray aliens. A firefight erupted. Schneider says he saw aliens vaporize U.S. Green Berets. In the chaos, he shot and killed 2 of the beings before being hit with a particle beam weapon. It burned off the fingers on his left hand and left him with a massive scar running down his chest. He claimed over 60 humans died that day and that he was one of only 3 survivors. With this harrowing story as his centerpiece, Schneider began exposing what he called the shadow government. He showed audiences his horrific scars. He displayed what he claimed were alien metals and artifacts recovered from underground sites. His accusations were stunning. He alleged that since 1954, the U.S. government has had a secret treaty with the Greys, allowing them to abduct humans and livestock in exchange for advanced technology. He warned that this shadow government was planning to impose a one-world order using alien tech to control the population. As his lectures gained popularity, Schneider grew increasingly paranoid. He told friends and fellow researchers he had survived 13 documented assassination attempts. His car was run off the road, and he claimed shots were fired at him. He began carrying a gun everywhere. He made it crystal clear to his ex-wife, Cynthia, and his best friend, Ron Rummel, that he was a fighter. He would never, under any circumstances, take his own life. On January 17, 1996, his warning became a terrifying reality. After friends couldn't reach him for a week, the manager of his apartment complex in Wilsonville, Oregon, broke in. They found Phil Schneider dead. The scene was bizarre and gruesome. Schneider was found with a rubber catheter hose wrapped 3 times around his neck and tied in a complex knot at the back. He was in his bed, but the position of his body suggested he had been moved there after death. Despite the violent nature of the scene, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office quickly ruled his death a suicide. But the people who knew Phil immediately cried foul. How could a man with missing fingers on one hand and limited shoulder mobility from his injuries tie such a difficult knot behind his own neck? It seemed physically impossible. The contradictions piled up. The initial coroner who arrived on scene reportedly told Schneider's friends there were signs of torture and that he likely suffered a stroke before being strangled. Blood was found on the floor that did not belong to Phil, and there was no suicide note. Most damning of all, his friend Ron Rummel claimed that when he first saw the apartment, all of Schneider's vital materials, his lecture notes, unpublished manuscripts, family photos, and the alleged alien artifacts were gone. All that was left was a single copy of his prepared lecture. It wasn't just a death scene, it looked like an intelligence operation, a clean sweep. So what is the truth? Was Phil Schneider a tormented man whose tales of alien wars were a fantasy? A man who ended his own life in a bizarre and tragic way? The official story requires us to ignore a mountain of contradictory evidence. Or was he exactly who he claimed to be? A government insider who broke his oath of secrecy to warn the public and was permanently silenced for it. In the world of UFO and conspiracy research, his death is not an anomaly. It's seen as part of a chilling pattern of whistleblowers and investigators who die under mysterious circumstances just when they claim to be getting too close to the truth. Phil Schneider's life was a crusade to expose a hidden reality. His death, whether by his own hand or another's, has become a cornerstone of modern conspiracy theory, a dark testament to the potential cost of knowing too much. Did his stories of underground battles hit too close to home for a powerful shadow group? Or was he just a master storyteller consumed by his own mythology? The one thing we know for sure is that he knew his life was in danger. If you think his story is a chilling look into the world of shadow governments, wait until you learn about the mysterious death of journalist Danny Casolaro and the all-encompassing conspiracy he called the Octopus.